Okay, so this is the last class for the spring session. And that being the case, I don't know if you all are familiar with this. Those of you in the Bat Mitzvah class will become familiar with this. There's a tradition known as Siyum. Have you heard of Siyum? So a Siyum is a concluding celebration. I didn't know that the word actually means, I think, to conclude, but I found that out when I did a little research. So let me, yes. So the tradition is, and I knew this, the tradition is that when scholars would get to the end of a tractate of Talmud, for instance, they would have a siyum, they would have a celebration. Usually siyums include a meal, but they don't have to include a meal. So, but it's kind of a closure of accomplishment. And I feel like that's appropriate for us. So I don't have the Hebrew of the siyum prayer that some women I know wrote. I was taking their class through my synagogue. But I would like us to, but I think it's appropriate, of course, to also say Shechechianu. So I assume everyone knows Shechechianu, right? Right? Yeah. So Shechechianu is, as my rabbi said, it's always appropriate. There's always you can always find a reason to say a Shechechianu, I think is how he put it. So you're experiencing something for the first time. You say a Shechechianu. You thank God for allowing you to have that experience, to get to this point. And so I really feel, as much as it's a great class for you, it's a great teaching experience for me. So I think we'll also do a Shechechianu. And if you guys have any other thoughts, I mean, there's many appropriate things that we could say today, having gotten to this point together. So at any rate, and I think you're supposed to say it before you technically study the last bit. So I'm gonna say the first part of this, and we'll save and maybe we'll say Shechechianu together too. How's that? Okay. So may it be your will, my God, that as you have helped me to complete this portion of my studies, that you will continue to help me begin new areas of learning and to complete them, to learn and to teach, to observe, to wonder, and to love all the words of your Torah. I thought that was very nice. So why don't we say Shechechianu together? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shechechianu v'yamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Exactly. Excellent. All right. Well, I feel good. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we ended on page 64 last week with Mizmor LeDavid, and we were struggling to figure out where it was exactly in the book. So I found it in the Friday night service of Siddur Sim Shalom. I don't know if anyone has that book, but it's on page 260. And it's Psalm 29, Psalm of David is what it is. And so in this case, for the Friday night service, obviously, we sing it not when we're having the processional with the Torah, obviously, because we don't have the Torah out of the ark. But I just, I was frustrated that I couldn't find it last week. So
I was surprised to see it right after that, going to Friday night service. There it was. I was like, oh my goodness, we were in the.
Yeah, exactly.
It's on page 21. Lev Shalom.
Okay, there you go.
Lev
So
Shalom.
Right, so it's the beginning exactly of Kabbalat Shabbat service, right?
Right.
Right, so interesting. And so that leaves us at, well, so I want to back up a minute if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah.
You know, we
It's
we
Kabbalah. Yeah.
spent a long time on Kaddish, right?
Yep.
That was the, but I never talked about, so there are actually 5 types of Kaddish. And I
Yeah, I
didn't spend
noticed
any
that
time
too.
talking about that. So we'll spend just a couple minutes if that's okay.
For sure.
So there's the Chatzi Kaddish, which is considered the half Kaddish, right? Which is the simplest of the Kaddishes. It's recited as a separation between parts of the service. And it indicates the end of Pesukei de Zimra, for instance, before you move into the rest of the service, the beginning of Shachrit, that is. So we say it the most because it comes between sections. Then you have Kaddish Shalem, which is considered the whole Kaddish. So that's said at the conclusion of the main section. So during the Shemona Esrei, for instance, right, it's the only Kaddish that includes the phrase Titkabel Slon Chon Uvchon Dechol Beit Yisrael. That's the piece that tends to be, so that's the only time you have that line in the whole Kaddish, which it adds what looks like a paragraph. It's really only a long line.
Which one is that?
That's the Kaddish Shalem, or the whole
Kaddish.
Kaddish. Okay. Then you have Mourner's Kaddish, which is very similar to Kaddish Shalem, but it doesn't include that line I just mentioned, right? Then you have Kaddish de Rabbanan, and that's what made me think of this. So Kaddish de Rabbanan is the Kaddish that was always said, is still said after a rabbi might teach something. So let's see, or give a lecture, give a Devar Torah. It's followed traditionally by a Kaddish de Rabbanan. So then the idea being that it concludes, it's related to study because it's the words of the rabbi and it's the conclusion of that small study period. So that's when it's said. So the final type of Kaddish is recited on 2 special occasions. I know that. One of them is at a funeral, and the other apparently is when making a siyum upon the completion of a tractate of Talmud or an order of the Mishnah. So I just thought that I owed it to you to explain the different types. I think you're familiar with 3 of them: the Chatzi Kaddish, the Kaddish Shalem, or the whole Kaddish, and the Mourner's Kaddish. Those are the most familiar, and maybe we'll do the whole Kaddish as a review. I'm going to write that on my notes. I thought I had written it somewhere because of that one line that you guys should become familiar with. So we don't have to do it today, but I'll make a note of it. Hi, Paula, we can't see you, but I know you're there. So, okay. How about if we jump right to page 66 in Adon Olam? Okay, everybody just about got it? Okay, I think this is something you guys can read. So, Edith, if you'll read, Anita, you don't want to read? Okay, if you don't want to read it, well, I won't call on you. Edith, if you'll unmute, I assume
Mhm.
you'll read with us.
Okay.
Paula, if you want to read, unmute and I'll see that you've unmuted. Otherwise, I'll assume you don't want to read.
Oh,
There
I'm
you
not-
are. Now you've unmuted. Perfect. Excellent. Thank you. All right. Cheryl, do you have 66 open? Do you want to start the first line of Adon Olam?
Okay.
Great.
Adon Olam Asher Malach
Mhm.
Batem
You were right. Beter,
Baterem.
terem. Yeah.
Oh, Baterem, I see. Kol
Mm-hmm.
Yatzir
Yeah.
Yitzer Naver
Nivra.
Nivra.
Nivra. Okay. So Adon Olam Asher Malach Beterem Kol Yitzir Nivra. Excellent. Okay. Edith, will you read the next line?
Late. Yasa.
Mhm.
Nayasa.
So the ayin is silent, so it's na'a, na'asa.
Naasa.
Mhm.
Betef.
The hef, it's actually the hef.
Bekef. Okay, I'm still confusing that with T. Okay.
Yeah, you're close though. The hef.
Bekef.
Mhm.
Zo.
Yeah, so, right, the hefso is the word, the hefso.
That would be cold.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting ready to repeat and I need to go on. Okay. Well, that would be Azah,
Azai.
Melech,
Mhm.
Shemo, Nifra.
Nikra. Nikra.
Kra. Yeah, that is okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so it's le'et na'asa vehefso kol azai melech shemo nikra.
Nikra.
Yeah,
Nikra.
okay. Paula, will you read?
Yeah, yes, I will read. I'm just getting ready to start here.
I can come back if you want, but
No, I'm
good.
good.
Line 3.
Okay. Achare
Yes.
ki lot
Yep.
hakol
Yes.
levado yim loch no ra.
Beautiful. I'm going to repeat it. Ba'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch no ra. Excellent. Fran, will you read?
Vehu haya, vehu hoye,
That.
hover,
Perfect. Yeah.
vehu ye, betifara,
Nice.
betifara.
Betifara. So v'hu haya, v'hu hoveh, v'hu yeh, betifara. Excellent. Linda, will you read?
Behold, Ehad, Va'ech, Sheni, La'am, Seal, Lo,
The shield. That one's a SH.
Sheol, Lo, Laha, Habira.
Yes, exactly. So, v'hu echad v'ein sheni lahamshil lo lahachbira. Yep, You guys are doing great. Let's see where this takes me. Cheryl, will you keep going?
Try. Belay,
Lee.
Beli, yeah, I see that. Beli,
Lee,
Ray, sheet,
Mm-hmm.
Belay,
Lee.
Beli, again, Beli, tacolit,
oh,
Achlit. Yep.
tachlit, bel- below,
Mm-hmm.
hayits,
O's. That dot up there. There's a dot on the left
ha'oz,
corner.
I
Yeah.
see it, ha'oz,
Mm-hmm.
baha, ma,
Me.
sheh,
Mis. Ra.
baha. Say, can you tell me that one?
The ha mis ra.
Baha nisra.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to read it to you all. So, Beli Reshit, Beli Tachlit, Velo Haoz, V'hamisra. V'hamisra. Okay. Edith, Paula, I'm not sure where we are, but Paula, I'm going to say, how about you go next?
V'hu ali,
A.
hu ali, v'cha go ali, v'tur hech ali,
Yep.
v'et Sarah.
Yes. So V'hu Eli, V'chai Goali, V'tzur Hefli, V'et Tzara. Excellent. Edith, will you go next?
Yes. Vehu Nisi. Is that where we are?
That's where we are.
Okay. Vehu Nisi
Ooh.
Vimanosli.
Okay, so that's Umanos. See that has a dot in the middle?
Umanosli.
Perfect.
Minat.
Mm-hmm.
Kolsi.
Kosi, yeah.
Beyond.
Yom.
Ekra.
Exactly. So V'hu Nisi Umanos Li Menat Kosi B'yom Ekra. All right. Fran, will you read?
Yado, okay, 1 second. The Ado Afkid, the Uhi,
Yeah.
the 8 Isan,
Shan.
Ishan, the Ira,
Ba'ira. Yes. So Biado Afkid Ruhi Be'et Ishan Ba'ira. So when you sing it, it sounds like some of these words are longer than they really are. But now you see exactly what these words are. All right, we're on the last line. Linda, I think I'm back to you.
Okay. Ve'im ruhi
Mhm.
gari yati
That's
yati
so that's a gimel with a vav and a one dot under it. So it's gavi.
gavi rati
There's no resh, so gaviati. Gaviati.
gavi ati
Yeah.
Adonai li below era
Ira. So
era.
one dot under that. Yeah. So ve'im ruchi gaviati Adonai li below ira. Exactly. All right. Do we want to sing it?
Sure.
I mean, because when you sing it and you watch the words, you'll see that you're
Saying some of them wrong.
yeah. Well, that you probably thought your ears thought the words ended in different places. Let's
Right.
Put it that
Yeah.
way. How's that?
Yep.
So the question is, what tune do we want to sing it to?
The traditional.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So here we go. I don't
Don't
know
know
Hashem,
but
With
Every
call you
It's
to
Neva,
the
the
eight
Nasa, the
Oh,
Hazai
Melech,
Shalom.
Shalom,
Ekwa,
Bi'ahare Kilo Hako,
Ada,
Levado
Yora,
V'Haya V'tzor hefti v'yitzara v'hurisi anosli v'nakosi v'yom ekra b'yado afkirushi v'yisha v'ruchi Adonai Velo. How'd that feel? Pretty good?
Yes.
Some of you are shaking your head no.
Normally, I know it.
I lost it
Well,
halfway through.
That's
I'm
okay.
surprised at how many. I'm surprised at how many errors I have in singing it. Normally, I thought I knew it.
Right.
But you know what that means? You're singing something in a foreign language where you're just mimicking what you hear someone else doing, right? And they're running words together, right? And you have no way of knowing that because it's a foreign language. So, but now when you practice reading it, your singing will improve because your eyes will stop you at certain places, right? With certain words, and I believe you will improve. Okay, so let's,
Rachel,
yeah,
before you go on, I think a lot of the problem is if you can read this all through, it helps me follow along slowly because I am saying the words wrong. And by reading it one line at a time, it's not going anywhere.
all right, so do you want me to read the whole thing fluently?
If you
through?
could.
You read one line and then we say it after you.
All right, so let's do it. Let's do two things. I'm going to read the whole thing through. I'm going to mute everyone and just read it, okay? So you can hear it. Then I'll read line by line where you repeat each line separately, okay?
That'd be
But let
great,
me first read.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, give me 1 second. I have to. So I'm going to mute all of you.
Well,
I will read the entire box, okay? Okay, excellent. I am muting all. There we go. Everyone can still hear me though, yes? Okay, here I go. Adon Olam Asher Malach. B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra. Le'et Nas Naasa Behefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. Ve'acharei Kichlot Hakol Levado Yimloch No Ra. Vehu Haya Vehu Hoveh Vehu Yihyeh Betif Ara. Vehu Echad Ve'ein Sheni. L'chamshil Lo Lahachbira. Bali Reshit Bali Tachlit Below Ha'oz Bahamis Ra. Vehu Eli V'chai Goali. B'tzor Chefli Be'et Tzara. Vehu Nisi Humanos Li Menat Kosi B'yom Ekra. Biado Afkid Ruchi Be'et Ishan Ve'aira. Ve'im Ruchi Gevi'ati Adonai Li Velo Ira. All right. Questions before we go line by line? No? Okay. So I'm going to keep you on mute so you only hear me and yourself. All right. And we'll go line by line. I'm not necessarily, well, I'm trying to decide. I'll do half a line, then the other half of the line. Does that make the most sense? I'll do the right side and then the left side of the same line. So I won't read the whole thing straight across and you repeat. I'll read the right side, I'll pause, then I'll read the continuation on the left side. Okay? All right, everyone, here I go. Adon Olam Asher Malach. B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra. Li'et Na'asa Behefzo Kol. Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. Ve'acharei Kichlot Hakol Levado Yimloch No Ra. Vehu Haya Vehu Hoveh Vehu Yihyeh Betif Ara. Vehu Echad Ve'ein Sheni. L'chamshil Lo Lahachbira. Bali Reshit Bali Tachlit. Velo Ha'oz Vehamis Ra. Vehu Eli V'chai Goali. Vitzur chefli be'et tzara. Vehu nisi humanos li. Menat kosi beyom ekra. Biado afkid ruchi. Be'et ishan ve'aira. Ve'im ruchi gavi ayati. Adonai li velo ira. I cannot unmute you all. You have to unmute yourselves. Okay, was that more helpful? Was that better? Okay, questions?
I have a question because it seems like when there's a vav at the beginning of the word, then I have to kind of wrap my head around it. Well, is that a the or a vu or a vo? You know, I mean, I don't, that's the only letter.
Well, so
Yeah.
in this case, this prayer, there are a lot of vavs at the beginning, and I believe they all have a shavah, 2 dots under them. If we just quickly scan, there's a lot of them. So, and they all sound like v. So v'achare, v'hu, v'lo, v'hu,
Correct.
v'tzor. So they're all v. Okay. A little.
But I noticed that when I read, it's like if there's a vav at the beginning, it's a big pause to figure out what V sound, for me, that V sound is.
I understand. Yeah. But so as I say, the who, v'im, v'lo, they're all v.
Does that
Okay.
mean and? Does that mean and when there's a V
Yes.
on the?
Essentially, yes.
I
Linda?
have a question.
Sure.
On the 5th line,
Mhm.
the last word, could you pronounce that again?
The one all the way to the left,
Yes.
Okay.
La ha
Chach bi ra.
la ha. So the
So,
hey goes with the next letter to make a
yes,
ha.
exactly. So it starts out with a ha, then it goes into a ch, right? The ha, right?
Okay.
The chach bi ra.
Okay.
All right. Other questions? Okay. I would like to take a look at page 67 so that I'm sure you know how to pronounce the names of all the letters you've learned. Do you guys, yeah, I'm guessing that you don't necessarily know how to pronounce the name of each letter. Am I right?
You're right.
Okay. All right. So let's go down. Let's go down this list. All right. Do you guys want to try it? I'll call on you. Okay, good. Let's give it a go. So Fran, will you start at the top?
Aleph, Beit,
Yeah.
Beit, Gimel, Daleth, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Het, Net. No, that's Het. What's that? Net.
Okay, so you did
Yeah.
beautifully. You did beautifully
Het.
up to het.
Het.
Beautiful. The next one is tet.
Tet.
Tet. That's a tough. Well, I'm sorry, it's a tet. It's not a tough. I just misspoke. It's right, tet. Okay. So
Yod,
let me stop you for 1 second. So as we're reading, you guys, what you need to be paying careful attention to is that the letter on the right is the letter we're naming, obviously, right? So you have that letter Aleph, and here's they spelled it for you in Hebrew, Aleph. Then you have the bet with the dot in the middle, right? There's the bet. Then to the left, they have the bet without the dot, and it's called a vet, right? We're reading that right down and across, right? So then
Oh,
But it's a bait, right? Bait.
who's talking? I'm sorry, someone said something.
It's Paula, but isn't that an A after it? So bait and bait?
Well, except we say bet, not bait. So this
Right,
is,
right.
exactly, this is the old pronunciation. They'd say bait and base, but we don't do it that way anymore, right? Base, that's so we say bet. Yes,
Okay.
it's the Aleph bet, right? But the rest seem pretty distinct. So then there's the Gimel, the Dalet, the Hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet. That's okay. Chet, that's the CH, the ch, or the soft K, whatever we want to call it, that guttural sound. And we get Tet. Okay, so let's pick up from here. Linda, were you see the next one?
Lamed,
Is that
The Yud.
Yud,
The Yud, yes. Okay.
Yud, Kaf,
Okay, now go to the left.
Kaf.
Chaf. So that we have the kaf with a harder K sound. And then when it doesn't have the dot in the middle, it's the softer chaf.
Kaf,
Okay. And then if you go all the way to the left,
Kaf, Sofit.
right. Chaf sofit. So that's when it's at the end of a word, it has this final shape, right? Okay. Edith, you want to keep going? What's the next letter?
Okay.
It's the
I
L
think
one.
I think I lost.
It's
where
the
we
L
are.
one. You see it?
Which one?
Lam,
Sounds like a L, right? It's
Lamed,
yes,
Mem,
yes. And now go all the way to the left.
all the way to the left. Min, Sophie.
Exactly, mem sofit. Okay. Can you keep going?
None,
None. And then to the left.
none, Sophie.
Exactly.
Is that a?
Samech,
I'm not sure about that one. I know it's an S, but I'm not sure.
Right. So it's called a samach. It's
Uh-huh.
interesting. He spells it here samech or samech. I call it a samach.
Okay, and if that's the iron at the top, this is Aleph.
No, you're right.
Ayin.
Ayin after
This is
samach.
iron.
This is ayin. Exactly.
Okay. Oh,
This has a dot in it.
right. This is pay.
Exactly. And then read to the left.
Fay.
Exactly. And then the final.
That's Fay Sulfate.
Sofit. Exactly.
Sulfate.
Okay. So Fran, can you pick up?
Tzadi,
Tzadi, yep.
Sofit,
Yep.
Kuf,
Yep.
Reish,
Mhm.
Shin, and Sin,
Yep.
Tav, and well,
And we do
Sad.
it tough. Right. Exactly. We do them both the same. Exactly. So beautiful. So that was Tzadi and Tzadi Sofit, Kuf, Reish, Shin and Sin, and then Tav. And that's the alphabet. So on page 68, this is just grouping for their similar sounds. Okay. And I don't know if this is helpful or confusing, honestly. You guys can give me a better sense of that. But so if we start at the top, these, the aleph, the ayin, and the hey, I mean, they're not exactly all silent, honestly, because the hey has that open H sound to it. So I don't know that I would have combined these like this, is my point.
this page is very confusing.
I think this
I
page is
think
very
we
confusing.
have it better. We have
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so we're skipping this page. I don't like this page, ladies.
I don't like
really. Yeah, okay, fine. Pass, turn, let's turn. Let's let's turn to page 71. Page 71 is the prayer Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. And in the Friday night service, that comes pretty early on. Sing a new song, sing. So that's in my Siddur Sim Shalom, that's on page 254,
Mhm.
which is early in the Kabbalat Shabbat service. And basically it's, let us sing a song and rejoice. Sing a new song to the Lord, renew yourselves, all people on earth. Sing to the Lord, praise him for his, etc., etc. So that's the whole notion of Shiru Ladonai, sing to the Lord, okay? So why don't we read page 71? Cheryl, will you start?
Shiro, Ladonai,
Yeah?
Shiro,
Let's go across, all the way across.
I am. Shir,
Yeah,
Harash,
that's a dalet.
Hadash.
Exactly. So Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Good, okay.
I still have trouble with the R and the D.
I understand. I get it. But all it is, and so if you see here, the first word, shiru, and the shir, that's the resh. And then you see the dalet has the top piece of it extends beyond where the bar comes down, right? Whereas the resh, it curves down and around.
To me, they look the same, but that's all right.
Okay. All right, we're on the second line. Fran, will you read the second line?
Jeru Ladonai Kal Haaretz.
Good. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Nice. Edith, will you read the next?
Shiru Ladonai Baruchu Shemo.
Yes. Baruch Shemo. Nice. Okay. Paula, the next line.
Let's see. Basru,
Mm-hmm.
Miyom, Mayom, Yeshua.
Yes, exactly. So it's Basru, Miyom, Liyom, Yeshuato. Exactly. Linda, will you read the last line here?
Safru. Vago. Yim.
Mm-hmm.
Kavodo.
Kavodo, exactly. Will you finish then the last three words?
Bakal. Ha'amin. Niflo. Ha.
Tav.
Ha.
Yes. So the first is, it looks like there's a dot to me. So it's sapru. Sapru, then vagoyim kivodo, bechol hayamim niflo tav. You did
My
very-
Safru has a straight line.
Yeah, sapru, but there's a pay, not a fey, right? The second letter has a dot in it.
Oh, I see.
Sapru, yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move down to Yismechu Hashamayim. Does sound familiar? Yismechu Hashamayim, right? Okay. So I guess we should read the first line that each word is numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fran, will you read?
The first line, Yismahu Hashamayim V'Hagel Ha. I don't know if that's Haaretz.
Haaretz, exactly. Okay. Edith, will you pick up line 3?
Yira
Mm-hmm.
Ayam. Umlo. 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 Umlo.
Umlo, oh, that's the word. Linda, will you do line 4?
You're always giving me the ones I'm not familiar with.
That's good practice for you. And you work through it.
Yeah, los,
Yes, ya'alos,
Sada,
sada,
dai,
Bechal,
dai,
dai.
Asher,
bakal,
Asher,
asher, bo.
You, very nice, very nice. Cheryl, will you do the last line?
Yerananu,
Skip me this time.
Okay. Paula, will you read the last line?
Varanu.
Urananu?
Wait, let me ask you about that.
Yeah,
You said Varan na nu. I heard you say 3 N's, but there's only 2 N's.
Yeah.
Varan.
then I said it wrong if I did that. Yeah,
All ya say ya are.
yes. So it's Yiranu, right? Call, say, ya are. Okay, so I'll read it from the top. Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz yiram hayam umloo ya'alos sadai v'chol asher bo yiran nu. I like to say that yiran nu call atzer ya'ar. And it's very hard when you're reading Yerananu. It says Yerananu. That's the word. Okay.
Urananu is in another prayer, isn't it? That we've had.
Yes. Yeah. I think I can't remember if we passed it or it's coming up, but yes.
Okay.
Oh, anyway, okay. Oh, well, so I skipped page 70, Linda, and maybe we were talking about it earlier.
Oh.
Naranana,
No.
That's the prayer you and I were talking
Okay.
about earlier.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, that was it.
okay.
So if we look at the box at the bottom of page 70, that's where Lechu Naranana Ladonai Naria Litzur Yishenu, excuse me. Nikadma Fanav Bitoda Biz Mirot Naria Lo. And this is, I couldn't remember where this prayer comes in the service.
It's in the Friday night service.
Yes, but I can't pinpoint where in the service. That's what's driving me crazy. And that's probably why I skipped it, because I just for the life of me can't figure out where it is.
It's right at the beginning. It's right at the start. It's like the second or third one we do.
Okay, well, I haven't been to Friday night services in a long time, so I'm embarrassed to say I just can't put my finger on it. And I looked in my prayer book and I just didn't find it. Oh, wait, of course, now I'm finding it. I did mark it. Here it is. I take it back. So it's above, it's, oh my goodness, it's so at the beginning. You're so right. It's before you get to Shir Ladonai Shir Chadash. It's right before it. You're absolutely right. L'chuna ranana Ladonai. This is it right there at the top of the page. So you're right. It's the second page in on Friday night service. There it is. Okay. Then let's see. Why don't you, so we only have a teeny bit left here. And they're just various prayers, pages 72, 73, and on. Why don't you guys quickly take a look and tell me what you want to read? They all should be somewhat familiar. Lifnei Adonai Kiva, Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Romamu Adonai Eloheinu, V'hishtachavu Lahar Kadsho, Mizmor Liyom HaShabbat, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach. Then there's the Baruchu. Oh, he does have the Baruchu finally. El Haiva Kayam Tamid Yimlo Aleinu Le'olam Ba'ed, and Ahavat Olam he gets to. Let's see. Micha Mocha. Oh, and then he okay, so he just has them in a weird order, if you ask me. Magen Avot. Okay. So you guys need to pick a page here. We have time for one more page. I'm happy to do any of them.
Mocha.
Sure. So Micha Mocha is on page, I know it's here, I just saw it. Here it is, page 76.
And that's the last page.
Okay, so at the top of page 76, you see Mi Chamocha, right?
Mhm.
Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai. You following with me? Mi Chamocha Nedar Bakodesh. Everyone see where I am? Okay, now I'm on the second stanza. Ga'al. Ug alo miyad hazak mimenu. Ga'al Yisrael. The last stanza, El, Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai Ze Eli. So that's all of that. But then in the box, Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai Mi Chamocha Nedar Ba Kodesh. Norah Tehilot Oseh Fela. All right, so now I'm going to have you guys take turns. So you saw I made a mistake, which is I started to run two words together. And that's because when we sing it, that's what we do. Nedar Ba Kodesh. You know, you don't stop, you just keep going and the words kind of run together. But we read them and we're going to end with the end of each word. So Linda, I know you know the beginning. So why don't we read in the box? Is that all right? Will you start?
Mi Kamoka Ba'elim Adonai. Mi Kamoka Ne'er Dar Bakodesh.
Yes.
Norah Tehilot.
Yes.
Say Fele.
Exactly. You corrected yourself perfectly because your head knows it.
That was good.
It was very good. It was
Yeah.
very good. And that's the point of reading it out loud. Your ears said to your brain, oh, wait, I know this word. Right?
Right.
Exactly. Okay. Let's go down to the lower box on page 76. What is this? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Oh, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech. No, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu. There we go. My brain started reading what wasn't on the page. Okay. Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Koneh Shamayim Va'aretz. So, and do we know this?
Yeah, it's the Amida.
Exactly, the beginning of the Amidah. Exactly. So let's read. So Paula, will you read some?
Stuck my
You can
foot in
say
my
no.
door.
You can
No,
say
no,
no.
that's fine because I say it all the time, but I'm not
Yes, you,
reading.
yes.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Ve'Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak Ve'Elohei Yaakov.
Yes.
Should I keep going?
If you're willing, keep going.
Ha'el Hagadol Gibor
Mm-hmm.
V'Chanoah
Yes.
El Yaakov Ne
Yes.
Shamayim V'Aretz. Yeah,
Wonderful.
V'Aretz.
Ba'aretz. Ba'aretz. Perfect. Beautiful. You did a great job. Really beautiful. All right. So I want to say Hazak v'hazak, hazak v'nit hazek. All right. We say that when we get to the end
End
of
of
a
the
book of
Torah.
Torah. Exactly. It should be he's key, which is the female version instead of hazak, but it's okay. We say hazak because it's
And
always the men.
we just read the word Hazak in one of the prayers.
Yeah.
And Hazak is the name of the senior group of
Right. The
United
Maishal
States.
too. Yeah.
And
Right.
I never really read it in Hebrew. As we read that prayer, I said, oh,
And it means strength. Chazak is strength.
right.
Okay. You guys, you showed a lot of determination and strength to wrap your mind around this. And you guys are doing great. Okay. So I am thrilled. I will send you my usual email. I will send you the recording of today. And then I will follow up after my meeting next Friday to tell you exactly, of course, that here's the Zoom link again, that we'll continue on the Friday starting on June 18th. And hopefully what the initial prayers will be that we'll start reading and whatever the text is to find the prayers. Okay, that's my plan. Welcome to almost summer. We're gonna have a good time.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you. Thank you all for
Shabbat
wanting
shalom.
to keep at it. I think it's good for all of us. I really am enjoying it.
So
Thank you. Thank
we
you very
are
much.
It's
too.
been a
Thank you
lovely
for your
break.
hard work.
Okay, wonderful, ladies. Have a good weekend.
All right.
I'll see you in
Thank
2
you.
weeks.
You-